Hello, this is my brass tech practice video on trombone. To start, we'll go over some things to look for when assessing the instrument. The first being just the case. Things to look for just in general, just the outside to make sure it's nice and just looks nice. You want to make sure that the latches are all there, and when looking in the case, you want to really make sure that the instrument itself does not move around a lot, because that will cause dents when it hits up against things. Especially with the mouthpiece, you want to make sure that it is firm, has a nice indent, because otherwise it'll fly around and just wreak havoc on the instrument. Next, to talk about the instrument itself, starting with the mouthpiece. You want to inspect the rim quite a bit to make sure that there is no open brass, because this is the metal of the rim is layered on top of the brass, and the brass can cause allergic reactions or just bad reactions in general, and can cause people to be sick, so it's bad to have. You also want to inspect the rim for nicks and chips and things, because those can cause when you press it up against your face, those nicks can cause cuts in your face, and that's just really bad in general. You also want to make sure to check the shank, or the low end of the mouthpiece, to make sure it is as round as possible, because the less round it is, the more trouble one will have navigating the partials without hitting the wrong pitch, or chipping, as it's called. The next thing to look at is the slide. You want to make sure that the slide moves as smoothly as possible, and one good test for this is the 45-degree test, which you put the slide at a 45-degree angle, and holding well, you then release your hand carefully and let's see if it moves at all, and catch it if it moves. Mine does not. Mine also does not pass the same test at 90 degrees, because there's a dent that gives some resistance. That doesn't. Because there's a dent, and those dents are really bad because they inhibit the slide's ability to be smooth, which really affects playability. Next thing to check is the tuning slides, which want to make sure that they move, and don't move too well, because if they move too well, they will not hold their place. And if they do not move, then that's bad because they're stuck. So the next thing to talk about next thing to look at is just to check for dents in general, just because those dents can also inhibit playing, just because they cause changes in how the air moves through and the sound resonates. Lastly, you want to check the water key, make sure, or otherwise known as the spit valve. You want to make sure that there's cork there to seal the hole, because that also affects playing if it's not sealed properly. Next, I'll show how to assemble the trombone. The order, it all is based on the order you take the pieces out. So to start, you start with the slide, and you look for the extended edge, the one that's taller, and you put that on your left. And from there, you grab the horn part. You set that against the floor, and with the horn, or the bell, and the rest of the horn, you then take this part, put it perpendicular, and put it and join them. And once you have it at a 90-degree angle with the slide and the rest, you screw this screw to fasten it and keep it secure. Lastly, you grab the mouthpiece, and you attach it with just a nice turn, twist. Not too hard, or else it gets stuck, and not too loose, otherwise it'll fall out and hit the ground, and that's bad. So then for posture, you just want to make sure it's nice and upright, not slouching, but not military, or you want to make sure that the head will end up being turned slightly down with how the mouthpiece sits on the face, with teeth structure because of overbites being the predominant tooth structure. Next, I'll be talking about some buzzing techniques. To start is what's known as the straw, straw method, which involves you getting a straw and putting your mouth around the straw, then threading the mouthpiece through the straw through the mouthpiece. So and you remove the straw. Next is what's called stopped buzzing, in which you create the embouchure with an M thought, and then you put the mouthpiece and stop the buzzing. And everything should kind of lock into place. Last is a method called stupid lips, in which you buzz on the mouthpiece and then you open your jaw and it'll stop. The buzz will stop, and then you bring your lips back up, and it'll start again. Yeah. So those are the buzzing things to try. Next, I'll be playing some warm-ups on the mouthpiece, which is a long tone exercise, which descends through, which starts on each tone and descends. I will set this down carefully. Right. So. Right. Next, I will be doing an exercise on the instrument, in which is Foundation for Superior Performance, warm-up set 1, option 1. Which essentially just involves navigating the two partials in the open position, or the first position, slide, yeah. So, no. There it is. And then it moves down through each slide position. So next will be the same warm-up set, but option 5, which involves going up partials as well as the down. lastly, or no, next I will play. Lastly, I will be playing an excerpt from the Accidental Achievement book. It is Korean folk song, Arirang, number 100 in the book. Just get up. That is my practice video.